Bonnie Blue has just been arrested and could be facing up to 15 years in prison. But not just any prison, an Indonesian one, because she got arrested in Bali, which notoriously have huge issues with overcrowding, understaffing, and copious amounts of corruption. So I thought today we'd go over all of the details surrounding the arrest, as well as the laws that were broken, and also just sort of generally catch up with what we've missed regarding Bonnie Blue. Before that though, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'd say we're on a journey to hit 300k by the end of the year, but I feel as though by the time this video comes out, we've already hit it. So of course, thank you so much for that. I'm not going to celebrate too early though, because it would be dead embarrassing if we manage not to hit it, or I end up getting cancelled like a day after I record this. So with all that in mind, I'll thank you properly in the next video. I want to take the intro of this video to address the recent controversy that I've seen sparking up in the comments, and it's following me around like a demon. I'm not a fan of it. You know, it is genuinely quite worrying, and it's that people keep commenting about the 3 albums behind me, something about them changing every video. And not only do I genuinely have no idea what you guys are talking about, but I also really don't appreciate your attempts to, I'll say it how it is, gaslight me. It's incredibly manipulative and honestly quite vile, and if I see anyone in the comments continuing this trend, you know, telling fibs like that so shamelessly, I expect them to be shamed. The albums behind me never change. I literally only own 3. They only look like they have volume because there are like album-sized bits of cardboard behind them, because I'm just a performative male who wants to trick you all into thinking that I have taste, when in all actuality, I only listen to Weezer. Anyways, Bonnie Blue, the wrong person, and now she's in jail. Well, that's not exactly what happened, to be fair. Well, let's just get into it, shall we? I suppose I don't want to edge you guys for too long. We'll have a look at the arrest video itself, and then we'll talk about what exactly led up to that point and some sort of coverage of the whole thing.
British porn star Bonnie Blue could face up to 15 years in prison following her shock arrest in Bali last week, but legal experts have warned of her likely true fate. Experts say the controversial model will probably face deportation and a lifelong ban from entering Indonesia and could be detained until January or February next year. The adult star, who's 26, was hauled into custody alongside 17 male tourists between the ages of 19 and 40 years old.
So there you go. What you're seeing right now is like the actual unedited footage of the arrest taking place. You don't see Bonnie Blue there, but you do see the men that were with her at the time. They look really, really silly with their tops up to like try hiding their faces. I guess it's their only option at that point because they don't want to be spotted with Bonnie Blue. They probably have wives at home. I say that, but then I'm sort of lending credibility to the whole thing genuinely being real and not just a bunch of fake bollocks. But then this arrest makes me question how fake it actually is. Like, maybe there is an aspect of it that is real. But then on the other hand, the Indonesian pornography laws are so unbelievably broad and frankly crazy that I don't even know what to think anymore. But we will get into all of that in this video. For the time being, all that we need to know is that the men that were arrested were between the ages of 19 and 40, according to The Sun and every other source that reported on this, right? And that is interesting to me because if there was a confirmed 19-year-old, at least one confirmed 19-year-old there, then that does genuinely seem as though they're I mean, that's a barely legal, right? That's a schoolie, as they call them over in Bali. So provided there are like genuine real things of a sexual nature going down behind that door, whether it be on or off camera, then that means a lot of this is realer than I thought, which is a lot worse than the alternative, which I've been sort of riding on for a while, which is that it's all just a bunch of fake bollocks. I mean, the bollocks are real, but you know what I mean, right? Like, in my mind, I feel as though if she was genuinely sleeping with hundreds and hundreds of barely legal teens, it's just opening the door for lawsuits and her getting fucked legally instead of just vaginally. Because all it takes is one kid to lie about their age or show a fake ID or something like that, and then all of a sudden, she's done for. She's ruined. And the fact that we've not seen one person who doesn't already have a social media following come out and explain their situation or their experience with Bonnie Blue, I think it's suspicious. So as much as I still don't know for sure, and I would really lean towards it being fake, this definitely makes me question things slightly. And for those who think that I'm unreasonable for thinking that, I want to make it clear here that it wasn't the sex itself that she got arrested for. Like, no one got arrested for any, like, actual sex here. I'll let it play out in a second here and you can see exactly what it was, but she got arrested for allegedly producing or creating pornography, which in Indonesia is extremely illegal. They've got these morality laws, which we'll get into a bit later so that we're all on the same page here, but they're very, very strict.
For allegedly making pornographic material, which is banned by Indonesia's strict morality laws. Her trip to Bali was advertised on her social media as a chance for young Australians on graduation celebrations, known as schoolies, to meet her as part of her Bang Bus tour. Indonesian immigration expert Philo Delano said Blue would likely be banned and deported from the country if found guilty. Delano said in his opinion, if there was an invisible hand that requests that she be deported, she can be transferred to the nearest immigration office from where she'll be deported from the country. Delano is a managing partner at PNB Immigration in Jakarta and said due to the nature of the porn industry and depending on her financial backers, it may not be straightforward to prosecute her in Indonesia. He said that was why she may have decided to pull off her controversial sex stunts in Bali. If something bad happened, as it has, she may have been expected to be deported without harsher punishment. But now that it's all over the media, the authorities might decide to first let the situation calm down and release her in January or February next year.
Yeah, there's a lot of corruption in the Indonesian police force, as with most police forces, to be fair. So it's very likely, I suppose, that they want to make more of an example out of her because of the public perception and the amount of eyes that are on this situation. At the end of the day, though, you got this sort of title here. Bonnie Blue faces 15 years in hellhole Bali jail after adult star's arrest. I don't think it will be 15 years. I don't think it'll be anywhere close to that. I don't think she's going to spend any time in jail, to be honest with you. I think it'll probably be a deportation and a lifetime ban from the country of Indonesia. And according to immigration experts, that's what they think as well. And, you know, I subscribe to that idea because I think listen to the people who know what the fuck they're talking about, surely, right? Not just some commentary YouTuber. Or even worse, a fucking TikToker. Let's have a look at some of the build-up to this whole thing.
Boys and the middle-aged mums, and especially those who signed the petition last year to get me banned from doing schoolies. Well, guess what? Not only is the Bonnie Blue bang bus in surfers, but so are my fluids. My fluids are going to be dripping around the Gold Coast, and I cannot wait for your son to taste them and put them to very good use.
You know, that actually makes me want to vomit a little bit. Like, seeing her spitting in those little capsules there actually makes me want to... We have to see it 4 times as well. Like, I understood what you were doing if you did it first time and then just showed them all on the table, I would have understand via context clues what was going on there. I do suppose that people who watch Bonnie Blue, like, are actual fans of her, are probably the most brain-dead people on this fucking planet, so maybe it's necessary. Like, no, unless I see it on video happening, I will not believe that it's Bonnie Blue's precious saliva. What she's just done there, I feel like I'm watching the first episode of Pluribus again. Cracking new show, by the way. Vince Gilligan, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul guy. If you're not watching it, you should give it a watch. Slow starter, to be fair. You might not love it immediately, but people didn't love Better Call Saul immediately either. And look how that turned out. I have to be honest, I really want and need Bonnie. You know, I don't think you did actually have to be honest. You know, you could have just kept that one to yourself. Also, I'm not a doctor, but I can assure you, you do not need Bonnie Blue. Someone's daughter, by the way. I mean, yeah, true, but at least she's making fucking bank off of it. Imagine being the son who actually takes the opportunity to try and sleep with her. That is equally, if not more embarrassing. That's someone's son. Imagine that being your son, man.
Just picked up the Bonnie Blue bang bus in Bali.
The brakes work.
Had a shower, gonna go get my nails done in 30 minutes. And straight after my nails, off to see the Bali bang bus version. It's just gonna be like a truck. Well, it's gonna be a blue truck and then I'm gonna paint Bonnie Blue on it. Can't quite get the exact camper van in Bali. Do have a really sweet idea for after I've finished using it. Gonna put a tiny bit of makeup on. If I was just getting my nails done, I wouldn't bother. But because I'm going straight to film my YouTube video of the Bali bang bus, I want to look somewhat presentable.
Hello, Nanny.
Oh, when it's hot, people try.
There's a print shop right there.
But we're raining.
All the dead people, you can just put it in full drive. We need to stop about here. No, a bit forward.
Do we really need to see the journey to get to the little tuk-tuk looking thing that you're actually using here? Like, you could have just said, we are going to this place, and then showed up in said place, and we would have been like, okay, sure, she drove, or we don't need every bit of the journey, man. It's like, look, don't worry, guys, I'm not lying to you. We don't have teleportation powers. We actually drove all the way there, then we walked for a bit, and then took another car. It's like, mate, no one watches Bonnie Blue to see the car journey to the fucking bang bus. I don't know, I'm criticizing the, like, retention rates of a Bonnie Blue video, to be fair. That's not really the issue here. I'm just saying, like, the content is it's so fucking boring that you know people aren't watching for her charisma or the jokes or the funny personality. They're watching because they're either morbidly curious or sick fucks. Speaking of sick fucks, by the way, have a look at how people react to when Bonnie Blue is around them.
Can we get a photo? Bonnie, can we get a photo?
Look at like the genuine, unadulterated fucking excitement exuding from those Australian little teenage boys. You can see like there's someone in the window there looking outside. What the fuck is going on over there, like? And who could blame them? This one's even worse, by the way. Like, have a look at this.
I'm barely legal. Yes!
Spend the day with me doing Australia schoolies, Gold Coast.
I've got a theory here that I feel as though is 100% true. Have you guys noticed how she isn't actually in this video? Like, she did a little voiceover at the start, and it was a voiceover that was clearly recorded outside of the spectrum of this video, right? So she wasn't actually there behind the camera saying it. It was in post, right? And then for the entirety of this video, all we see is point of view perspective shots. We never actually see Bonnie Blue, which leads me to believe she isn't actually anywhere here. They just got a bunch of actors or people in the public to act as though Bonnie Blue is there. Like, oh, hello, mate, I'll give you 20 quid, act as though Bonnie Blue's in front of you.
That is so cool. Hang on, I'm gonna get a video of this.
You see that? Like, it panned to the car, and right before it shows who's inside, it cuts. If that's not suspicious, I don't know what is. Once again, I really do believe that it's all a bunch of fake shit. Look at that, man. Like, why wouldn't they show her at any point there? Why would it pan to the van and then cut immediately and show, like, an outside shot of all the kids, like, laughing and crying? Like, oh my god! Whoa! Whoa! But then she's not actually there. It also makes sense because genuinely having her there would be a huge liability to her health and safety. Like, it would genuinely be super dangerous if she was there physically. So if anything, it's probably a good thing that she most likely isn't actually there most of the time. And they're using all this, like, camera trickery in that to make it seem as though she is. I also feel like now that I have this theory, the acting, which I do think it is a lot more obvious. Like, you don't really just scream someone's full name when they're a meter in front of you in a van. Like, surely that it just can't be real, man. I just refuse to believe.
What? Wait, what? Can I take a photo of this FaceTime call?
Mum, someone's on FaceTime with Bonnie Blue right in front of us.
Well, I just turned 18, I'm barely legal. Yes! And as soon as you get out of the elevator, turn left, knock, I'll be there, yeah?
This bloke here is a disgrace to all of Australia. I'd love to visit Australia, by the way. I've got a decent amount of viewers in Australia. This guy here, if you are watching this video, message me and I will pay for your therapy bill because you need help. Not even a joke, by the way. Like, if he actually messages me, I will pay for that shit. So I suppose in this scene here, like in this area, at this time of the day, she isn't actually in the bang bus, which I suppose confirms my theory is true, but then at the same time, why are people running after it like that? Why are people, like, screaming at the door being opened if she is confirmed to not have actually been there? If it's just a FaceTime call? Maybe, like, during the day she was genuinely there, and at nighttime she isn't, like, at this point in particular, and they're just trying to, like, you know, give the illusion that she was there the times before. But I don't believe it. I don't think she was there at any point, really. For all I know, that FaceTime call could literally just be a pre-recorded fucking video. I mean, would you really put it past her? Also, Bonnie Blue does not have nearly as many followers as I thought she would have had. Although, to be fair, it's probably because she got her account deleted like 100 times. Anyway, now we'll have a look at some videos of supposed third parties recording, like, as paparazzi almost in Bali of Bonnie Blue.
Yeah.
you got that one there. It's a very simple video, just spotted Bonnie Blue and Bali, but the account is Bonnie Blue UK. Like, this is the account here that posted that video. And then there's also, you know, there's also this video here. What is Bonnie Blue doing in Bali? And that video was posted by Bonnie Blue Australia. All of the comments are actually in Indonesian as well, which is interesting. This actually reached a new audience. Let's translate one of these comments, why don't we? This one has a lot of likes. Let's see what the Indonesians have to say about all this. Quite boring, actually, just saying that she was arrested. So, I suppose to entertain you guys, I will try to say it in Indonesian. Ini ya yang ditangkap. How'd I do? To all the Indonesian viewers out there. You know what? Don't even tell me. It'll just hurt my feelings. Also got this video here. So Bonnie Blue wasn't lying about a bang bus in Bali. And it's just on a fucking bus with 3 other blokes. And that was posted by schoolies.xo. Right, now, I've just shown you 3 accounts with very strange looking names and accounts that very obviously are not run by real authentic people that have TikTok pages and just so happen to be recording Bonnie Blue at the exact moment that she passes by them on whatever fucking street they live in. If you ask me, and I am the person to ask because I am never wrong about anything and you guys really respect that about me, these accounts are very obviously just Bonnie Blue marketing team. Like, she's very aware of these accounts. She probably has a part to play in these accounts, and they're all being made to further bolster the marketing and eyes on Bonnie Blue, and probably actually make her seem more famous than she genuinely is. Don't get me wrong, she is famous, but she's not famous to the point where everywhere she goes, people are pulling out their cameras and posting it to their TikToks. If she was genuinely that famous, she wouldn't need to manufacture it so fucking much. Like, I am willing to bet over half of the TikToks you get of that elk on your For You page are manufactured, at the very least partially, by her team. Okay, now we'll actually have a look at more of the arrest itself, like a news article about the arrest, some coverage from the snitch who snitched on her, as well as a former friend of Bonnie Blue who spoke on the whole thing, and then we'll actually have a look at the Indonesian pornography laws that were broken here so we understand exactly what happened. Blue traveled to Bali after she was banned from going to Australia last year, encouraging Aussies to meet her in the province instead. W Australia, by the way, big ups to you for making the right decision and banning this woman. You, as a whole country, are doing what fucking universities can't even do here in the UK. That is just mind-blowing. Bonnie Blue allegedly planned to film explicit material during Schoolies Week, a celebration after high school that is similar to Freshers Week for the UK. So just, you know, the first year of uni, essentially. Blue wrote, "Hey boys, those that are going to schoolies and to those that are barely legal, I cannot wait to see you. And I'm in Bali, so you know exactly what that means. Overly strict and stringent pornography and laws surrounding sexuality? Like, what exactly do you mean by that? No one's gonna go, ooh, Bali, the sexiest country of all. Like, if you are in, I don't know, Italy, maybe, or even fucking France, where they speak the language of love, but realistically, it stinks of poo. I mean, that would have been more understandable, at least, but Bali is like, it's not a romantic place. Which I know she isn't exactly looking for romance, but it's not a sexy place either, from what I'm aware. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Can countries be known as sexy? Who gives it? Let's just continue. But Indonesia has strict morality laws and pornography is banned, with those found to be flouting the rules facing a jail sentence. If she is convicted, Blue could face up to 15 years in jail and a fine of about £270,000, which the fine will be fucking nothing to her, but the 15 years in jail, that'd be a big blow. Police have confirmed that she will be summoned for an interview with Bali immigration officials in the next 48 hours. Yeah, they're gonna use the summoning jutsu, but instead of Gamabunta, they're gonna summon Bonnie Blue. Imagine if that happened in Naruto. Comes up against Pain, he wants to summon all the fucking toads, and Bonnie Blue comes out of nowhere. I think that all the Paths of Pain will be a bit too old for Bonnie Blue, to be fair. She'd probably just gravitate straight towards fucking Konohamaru. Blue's passport has been seized, but she was allowed to return to her hotel along with 3 male members of her team. They await updates while under investigation, with their means of returning to the UK blocked. So she must, like, genuinely be terrified, at the very least scared of everything going down, right? Like, there's no way she was expecting this. But I guess this does lead us to the question, how fucking dumb could you be to do all of this in Bali? Did you just not look up the laws at all? Do you not have a team whose job it is to maybe do something like that before you do something like this and get yourself fucked over for potentially 15 years? Indonesian police said her group was creating content containing pornographic or immoral elements. They probably were, but who knows, right? I mean, it was Bonnie Blue and 17 men between the age of 19 and 40, so in all likelihood, yeah, they weren't there for a fucking tea party, were they? However, some 14 of the boys and men arrested, that is so weird, by the way, that they have to say boys and men instead of just men. That fucking creeps me out, like. All of whom are Australian. Again, bad luck for you folks. Were released without charge after the raid. Blue's prospects may rest on whether the men involved participated in making any porn, which could then be used to turn a profit. If they made commercial content, the 14 men involved could still be charged. Badung Police Chief Arif Batubara has confirmed, however, that the 14 men will be deported back to Australia once the investigation is complete. Right, so they're not going to stay in like a rough sort of Bali jail for a couple of years. They'll be deported right back to Australia when everything is said and done. So the same thing can probably be said for Bonnie Blue as well. The men detained alongside Bonnie Blue concealed their faces, one using a paper bag. You know, I would say that they're concealing their faces out of fear of being recognized by their wife or whatever, but let's be fucking real here. These people don't have wives. They're probably covering their faces because they're fuck ugly. Authorities also raided her accommodation, finding 19 outfits labeled School Bonnie Blue, a box of condoms, lubricant, 9 pink necklaces, flash drives, 2 sheets of Viagra pills, some used. It's strange that no cameras though. The flash drives though does not paint a pretty picture. You know, it seems very illegal in Bali terms. The condoms there, you got the Viagra pills which were used. Obviously the male porn stars are using them so that they can fucking stay rock hard for hours on end. Not sure what the necklaces are for. Yeah, there's not really any talking your way out of the outfits labeled School Bonnie Blue either. This is where your overly aggressive and rage baity sort of marketing is gonna bite you in the ass. Because try explaining that one to a fucking Indonesian judge. After the raid, Batubara said, "We have handed them over to the immigration for further investigation on alleged breaking immigration law. The police investigation is still ongoing. We jointly conduct the investigation with the immigration." Fucking say investigation or immigration again, Batubara allowed. Bali police also confirmed that her bang bus was not legal. Okay, well, cheers for that. So yeah, I don't know. Either Bonnie Blue's an idiot or her fucking, like, legal team is useless because she should have been told long before she went to Bali that place is off limits. It's like you wouldn't have gone to fucking Saudi and done this shit, would you? Yeah, why don't you try North Korea next, Bonnie Blue? Anyway, I want to have a look at another article to hear the, I guess, explanation as to why the member of the public told on the police. Bonnie Blue's snitch in Bali explains why they ratted out the British sex worker to the police. I'm getting some, I'm feeling some sort of pointed language in this title here. Like, I feel like Dave Smith over here doesn't like this snitch. One of the individuals who reported the activities of British sex worker Bonnie Blue in Bali before her arrest last week has shared details with news.com.au on how they tracked her down and why. I mean, surely it couldn't have been that hard. Like, did you even need to report it realistically? I feel like they would have been pretty aware that this was going on. Like, she is mega famous, and she wouldn't fucking shut up about it either, and she was shutting streets down, and there was havoc everywhere. Gained fame for having sex with 1,057 men in 12 hours in a documentary about her career on the adult site OnlyFans. I'll watch that documentary, by the way, guys, if I get enough comments requesting it. It was a while ago, and I do think it's a bunch of bullshit, so I'm not sure if it's worth it, but if people want it, then they want it. Oh, that's interesting. It's illegal to even watch pornography in Indonesia. That's fucking mental that Bonnie Blue thought this would be a decent idea. Like, a country that conservative, you should not go anywhere near with a 50-mile barge pole. You shouldn't even be thinking about the country of Indonesia with laws like that. In fact, if someone says the words Indonesia to you, you should run on sight. The way we tracked her wasn't particularly complicated. We just followed her through her gangbang bus. I love that, like, the interviewer was probably asking them, expecting this really intricate documentary-style answer on how she was tracked down expertly, but then the answer is just like, no, she was making a huge fucking stink, and we just sort of followed the bus. But the cops at first, they couldn't even understand what was happening. We had to explain it to them, that there are about 20 guys and Blue, they just couldn't comprehend it. But once we explained to them that she's driving around in the gangbang bus, and that she was bragging about sleeping with schoolies, some of who were barely legal, and that the footage was going to go worldwide afterwards, they confirmed that the activity was illegal and took action. The individual said, then they sent in undercover agents and booked them. Prosecutors may also apply the ITE law, Indonesia's primary legislation governing electronic information and transactions, the breach of which carries potential imprisonment of up to 12 years and a fine of 12 billion rupiah, approximately over $1 million. The same penalties could apply to the 2 British men, allegedly her videographers, who are both 27 and arrested with Blue last week. But prosecuting them is really difficult here. The individual who reported the alleged crimes told news.com.au because what the police had to do is catch her in the act with the cameras rolling, and they got there just before. Very interesting that she had to be caught right before, because I guess they can just deny, and her lawyer's going to do a lot of good work here, hopefully. I say hopefully. What I mean is, like, she will have the money to afford the best fucking lawyer on the planet. Why do I care? I'm not a prude, and I'm not judging her, but Bonnie Blue's Bali gangbang is not where we want to be reputation-wise. Bali is not Thailand. Fucking horrible to Thailand, by the way. Bali is not the Philippines. Fucking horrible to... Philippines is a beautiful place, man. has its problems, like every country, but okay, the Filipino people are beautiful people. I love Filipinos. But my whole friend group back in London is like 90% Filipino. They're fucking great people. The business community doesn't want it, the expat community doesn't want it, and the local community can't even comprehend it. Pornography is illegal here. Producing pornography is illegal here. Working without a proper permit is illegal here. And we don't want Bonnie Blue's gangbang from Bali being posted and shared around the world. Bali doesn't need that kind of publicity. Well, you sort of fucked it then, because this arrest has made it more public than it ever would have been. What people do behind closed doors is one thing. Watching porn, whatever you like. Well, you say that, but watching porn is also illegal in Indonesia. So, as much as you say whatever you like, legally, I guess that's incorrect. But doing it publicly and then promoting it around the world as Bonnie Blue's gangbang is too much. The Balinese are spiritual people. There is a certain rhythm on the island, and that kind of thing is not for us. We have enough issues with tourists here as it is, the individual said. You can see here as well that they were taken into custody and the raid was at a studio in Badung. So like, I feel as though convincing people that they were about to film an adult, immoral, pornographic video, they were in a studio, they had all this material, what else do you really need other than the video itself? It's a good thing they didn't show up an hour later, because holy shit, would that have been bad for everyone involved. Okay, before we take a more in-depth look at the actual laws, here is what Annie Knight had to say about the whole thing. Annie Knight is also an OF creator who used to be friends with Bonnie Blue. I don't know if they're still on good terms right now, but it says, OnlyFans influencer Annie Knight said it's hard to feel sorry for former friend Bonnie Blue after Blue's reported arrest in Bali last week. And I think she makes some very reasonable points here, by the way. In my industry, anytime you go overseas, you have to be aware of the laws surrounding sex work in the country you are visiting. Knight exclusively told US Weekly, I always am super thorough with my research whenever I travel. I always make sure to be extra cautious. I never do my job in a country where my work is illegal, and I just would never risk myself like that. She continued, honestly, Bonnie being arrested really didn't shock me. Bonnie went to Bali, a country where sex work is illegal, and despite knowing that, she still chose to do it and break the law. Being arrested was always going to be a risk, and I did try to warn her, but she didn't listen, and now she is experiencing the repercussions. That being said, it must be absolutely terrifying being arrested in a different country, and I really hope she is okay. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to disagree with anything that is being said there by Annie Knight. Like, obviously, you don't wish any, like, physical harm on Bonnie Blue at this place. She is undoubtedly fucking shitting bricks right now, but it really is difficult to feel sorry for her, because how fucking dumb can you be to do what you're doing in a country that is notoriously so conservative that just watching pornography is illegal? And when we get into these laws, you will see some of the most, like, unbelievable things that are considered explicit or pornographic and hence illegal. Let's have a look at those laws right now, right? I'm using Wikipedia just for full clarity, but I think Wikipedia is fine. You know, I'm not making a full in-depth fucking documentary. I feel like for a commentary video, Wikipedia is accurate enough. Of course, if you guys know what you're talking about and you're like an Indonesian lawyer or whatever the fuck, then you can tell me that I'm chatting shit and that this is wrong. We don't need to hear all the history and that. We're going to look at definition and scope. The law defines pornography as pictures, sketches, illustrations, photographs, writings, sounds, moving pictures, animations, cartoons, lyrics, body movements, or other forms of messages conveyed through any medium of communication and or public performance that contain obscenity or sexual exploitation in violation of prevailing moral norms. The definition is broad and includes materials in printed, electronic, and digital formats. Okay, so at the start of this video when I described this law as fucking insane, hopefully now you guys see what I mean. Body movements could get you arrested. So if you're a fully legal, fully grown woman and you move your body in a way that certain people might see as erotic, you can get banged up for that. And I do think that that is fucking crazy. Like lyrics and sounds as well. So like, I don't know, a weird TikTok moaning video would get you fucking arrested in Bali. Lyrics as well. So if you sung like, I don't know, a song from the Ice Spice catalog, you'd be fucked as well. No wonder the prisons are so overcrowded in Indonesia. Like, what is this? The law prohibits any person, anyone, from producing, creating, multiplying, duplicating, reproducing, distributing, broadcasting, importing, exporting, offering, selling, renting, or otherwise providing pornographic products or services. And pornographic products or services can be any one of those definitions or scopes that we just spoke about. This is a crazy conservative law. Like, I don't know about you, but I would be shit scared of making these videos in Bali. I'm sure you could pick out something from one of my videos that inadvertently, unintentionally fits one of these definitions here. Provisions concerning children. You know what? I'm not even going to read that section because I don't think I'll have any problems with that one. Exceptions and regulated activities. Okay, this is important, I guess. The law recognizes limited circumstances in which certain depictions may be permitted, provided they are not intended for public distribution or commercial purposes. Activities that fall outside the explicit prohibitions must comply with implementing regulations issued by the government. Any permitted production or display of materials of an artistic, cultural, or scientific nature must be carried out in accordance with specific provisions established by law. Okay, so you can make private sexual videos. I feel like it'd be pretty difficult for for Bonnie Blue to convince a jury that what she was doing in that studio was intended to be private. But you could also say the same thing when it comes to artistic or cultural or scientific explanations. You don't understand. It's just, you know, it's poetry, what I was doing. It's slam art. Or a scientific experiment, you know? I suppose maybe you could convince a jury that sleeping with 1,000 men in 12 hours is a scientific way of measuring just how far the female body can go or some dumb shit like that. Violations of the law are punishable by imprisonment and fines. Offenses involving the production or distribution of pornographic materials may result in imprisonment for a minimum of 6 months and up to 12 years. And or fines ranging from 250 million to 6 billion rupiah. Okay, so it says and or there. So she could just get fined and receive no prison time. So I feel like that's a lot more likely. Like, I really doubt that she's going to be sent to prison for any of this. But then again, man, like, who knows? These laws are crazy. Other violations, such as participation in prohibited performances or facilitation of pornographic services, carry proportionate penalties as prescribed in relevant articles. When children are involved, the penalties are increased by up to 1/3 of the maximum sentence. That is nowhere near enough. Let's have a look at what people actually think about this. Okay, yeah, this is not a surprise at all. You can see that loose coalitions of Islamic political parties and really conservative religious organizations are okay with it. Definitely more of a cultural thing, I suppose. Whereas opposition emerged from a broad coalition of civil society groups, cultural communities, and regional leaders. Critics argued that the law's definition of pornography and indecency were overly broad and risked criminalizing traditional cultural expressions such as Balinese temple dances and Papuan body painting. I mean, I don't even think that is the main issue here, is that those cultural expressions could be banned. It does say that cultural expressions are allowed, but I do agree that the definition of pornography and indecency is way too broad. Women's rights organizations and human rights advocates warn that the law could be used to police private morality and disproportionately target women and artists. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a problem as well. And a lot of the provincial governments, such as Bali, for example, well, that's one of the bigger ones, voiced formal objections, describing the law as an imposition of conservative Islamic norms on Indonesia's plural society. Yeah, I mean, as someone who's not fully educated on these laws and is not Indonesian and has never been and has no intention of ever going, so like all I know is what I have learned during this recording about this law. It sounds fucking insane. But if anyone knows more than it than I do, or just disagrees with anything that I'm saying, as always, feel free to let me know in the comments why you disagree, because it's definitely interesting to say the least. Okay, just a couple things before we head off. Let's have a wee look at Bonnie Blue's attempted ASMR career.
Nutty praline bar from M&S.
This is what came back from the party. First, yeah. Alright.
Yep, this video is indeed just 4 minutes of her eating food. I don't know why, but I guess she wanted to try her hand at some ASMR. It didn't do well for her, because no one is interested in Bonnie Blue until she does fucking disgusting things. Do more burps in your mukbangs. This is the average Bonnie Blue viewer, man. And then there was this video here, which I, like this, I'll just show you. For people who are only listening via audio and not watching the video, it is a video caption, just spotted Bonnie Blue kissing a fresher, and the video is, I mean, it's exactly what the caption fucking describes. It's Bonnie Blue kissing someone who allegedly is very young. A fresher, even. However, this was posted by an account known as Bonnie Blue XOX_X. And the name apparently is Bonnie. It's pretty fucking clear to me that this is just more PR bollocks. Mainly an account that is claiming to be someone that is not associated with Bonnie Blue to make it seem more authentic, when realistically, we know what the fuck is happening here. This is very obviously staged. Anyone who believes it, I think, is being silly. But like, you know, they're not dumb, because it could be true. Maybe I'm the dumb one. But I personally believe that if you think this is 100% real and an authentic sort of paparazzi moment, you are being a bit silly. But tell me if you think I'm wrong. You know, I'm always open to it. I'm also open to ending this video here because I think I've seen enough, and I think yous have seen enough. I've subjected you to enough of this stuff. So hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, post a comment, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye!